The Azimio leadership at around 10:30. We'll be bringing you that in just a bit. Now, Nyeri County is set to launch its County Integrated Development Plan tomorrow. The 2023-2027 CIDP is a guiding blueprint for development in the devolved units, which informs the budget at the county level, as well as the annual development plans. Let's link up with our reporter, Clement Masombo, who will be speaking to Robert Thuo, who is the CEC in charge of finance and economic planning in Nyeri County, to get the highlights of CIDP. Clement, good morning.
Well, good morning to you. Indeed, this morning I will be speaking to Robert Thuo, the CEC in charge of finance and economic planning here in Nyeri County, to give us some of the highlights of the County Integrated Development Plan for 2023-2027. And right away, I'll start with you. Waziri, kindly tell us what are some of the highlights and areas of focus in this 2023-2027 County Integrated Development Plan?
Okay. Thank you. My name is Robert Thuo, the County Executive Committee member for Finance, Economic Planning, ICT, County Government of Nyeri. We are in the cycle of developing our County Integrated Development Plan, which is in line with the Constitution and the County Government Act, Section 108, which talks about the planning framework. So, this is the third generation CIDP, and we are happy that we have concluded this process, not through consultancy, but we have developed it ourselves, and it has been an engaging process. We have involved departments, we have involved Mwananchi, we have done public participation in every sub-county, we have involved sector players, we have convened sessions, and we have subjected it to editing by various institutions. And I want to appreciate the governor of Nyeri, Mutahi Kahiga, for taking lead in the process. So this is a document, I want to say, that has full ownership of his government. And as a requirement by law, this spells out the framework, planning framework, which links up planning, budgeting, and policy for the next 5 years. So the second generation one has already lapsed. So I'm happy to announce that tomorrow, His Excellency Mwalimu Mutahi, AGH, Governor of Nyeri, will be launching this plan, this important planning framework for the next 5 years outside his office. And it has 6 chapters. And the first one is basically the background information that talks about maybe the county, the size, the population, and all that. It also talks about the data, basically collects the data that we have for the county. And then the chapter 2 now talks about a review. We shall be reviewing what we did in the second generation CIDP. So you're able to link up the two and see now where you are in the first one, what you achieved and what you did not achieve, and possible reasons. The other one now gives the chapter 3, will now give about the priority programs that you intend to have in place. So out of the forums that we have had with the sector players, the departments, and as cabinet, and as the chief officers, directors, and all the people of Nyeri, they have said this is what we want to do in the next 5 years. So we have tried to prioritize them. And then we have chapter 4, which talks about the institutional arrangements, how we are going to set out the implementation, and the specific roles that will be done by various players. We also have a chapter on monitoring and evaluation, so that we are able to assess ourselves at a particular point, how we have performed, what we need to do, what we have not done, what we need to adjust, so that we are able to assess or to track our progress in the execution of the document. And through that entire process, it's critical to say that you cannot develop the areas alone, and you need other players. So this document will not only be used in the execution of the budget that we have, out of the equitable share that we have or the revenue sources that we have, but it's also a fundraising document. For example, if other players now want to assist Nyeri people or assist the government of Nyeri, this document becomes very vital. It's a reference document. So it becomes also a fundraising tool. So we are calling upon our partners, development partners, to take time to look at our proposals and see how we can pull our resources together, aimed at putting our people at another level. Some of the key areas that we have looked at is the cross-cutting issues. We have the issues of climate change. We have gender. We have issues of mental health. We have issues of disability and youth. And unemployment is a key thing that is highlighted very much in this document, and the opportunities that we can give to empower our people in terms of socioeconomic areas. It's critical to say that we have 5 key sectors that will drive the execution of this plan, and this we have now departed from our old style of doing it in terms of departments. So the sectors will cut across. For example, we shall have agriculture, rural development. That is now going to be a sector, so that you look at issues of water. If it's a project that you talk about, maybe creating, digging a borehole. Who is it going to help? So you need the Department of Agriculture, you need the Department of Water, you need the Department of Trade, so that together we are able now to say that this water will be used to grow cabbages, for example, and you need the water team to guide on how that water will be accessed. We need the agriculture team to tell us how we shall grow the cabbages, and we shall need the Department of Trade to guide us in the aspect of marketing. So this is a document that has been approved by the County Assembly of Nyeri. So it's a legal document, and I want to thank the County Assembly of Nyeri for having gone through the document and approved it, and now it will officially be launched tomorrow by the Governor of Nyeri. Yes.
And perhaps, Waziri, as we wind up, what are some of the challenges that you experienced in implementation of the previous CIDP?
We had challenges in the execution of the previous CIDP. One of them, of course, is budget inadequacy. We never get enough resources. I think the previous CIDP had a figure of about 79 billion. When we looked at our revenue sources, we could not raise the 79 billion. So that was one cap. The other one was capacity, because we may not have had, or we may not have tapped all our sector players or brought them on board to ensure that happened. Other things that came up was, of course, something like COVID. It was not anticipated. It came, it met us. Issues of climate change, and that's why I talked about the cross-cutting issues that we need to address, also came up. Of course, we also had elections. It also came up with those issues. So there were various issues that led us not to achieve this. So we are hoping that this time status quo remains, and we don't have interruptions. If we get our equitable share in time, we're able to raise our own source revenue in time, we mobilize more resources, we become more aggressive in terms of resource mobilization, and then we engage with the partners. We should be able to achieve together now, instead of duplication, we should be able now to achieve more of what we wanted to do rather than the previous one. So there has been improvement from the first CIDP, the second one. We're hoping that the third one will be better, and maybe the fourth one will be better in the 5 years to come. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, you've just heard it that some of the key areas of focus is climate change.